Well, hello there, and Happy New Year. It is January 6th today, and in the last couple of years, actually 2 years ago, I made some picks around this date. And so I'm not going to make picks. I'm just going to tell you what I think are the higher probability stocks that right now look like they're going to perform for the year. And we'll have to decide later on if they do. Now, I also have systems built around when you take your losses, risk management. This is not a buy and hold philosophy. Nonetheless, what I'm doing is I'm showing you stocks that have momentum right now. And those are the ones that generally carry into the new year. Now, last year, the top three stocks were all in storage. And that was a different kind of year because that sector didn't really take off until May or June. But if you see all the people going on trips and taking pictures and selfies and doing videos, all that data's got to go somewhere. And so it went to data storage, and those were the top three stocks of last year, at least according to my screens. So today what I'm going to do is I'm going to go through a bunch of stocks. So buckle in, get your pen and pencil ready, and I'm just going to show you like why I think these are going up. But I'm not going to go too deep. I just have to kind of quickly look at the charts, quickly look at the fundamentals, and just kind of move along. These are not recommendations. These are the stocks that I'm looking at for the new year that are up on my radar. So that's all it is. Maybe it'll help you do some research. Not all of these are going to go up, by the way. Some will. So you might be able to grab 5 or 10 out of these that are the ones that do really well. And that's what I'm trying to identify here for you. So let's, without further ado, let's start with the first one on my list, which is GE. Now, if you remember right, this was the last Dow Jones Industrial stock, and it's not in there anymore, I don't think. But now it's called GE Aerospace. Anyway, symbol GE. Look at this beautiful chart. I mean, don't you wish you'd have bought it at 50 bucks? Of course, now we're looking at stocks that are at their all-time high. And by the way, if you're one of those people that's like, it's overpriced because it's an all-time high, well, you could have said that anywhere in here. So, maybe shut that down for a little bit and just listen, because stocks that go high go higher, right? A lot of times the big money comes in and they send them higher. Not all the time. A lot of times these stocks correct. I'm not Nostradamus. I don't know if they're going up or down. And so don't be sitting there going, oh, I got you now. I got you. The stock's at an all-time high. Look, if you're a value investor and you buy stocks at the bottom, I hope you bought it here at 40. I hope you were smart enough to buy it when everybody else was selling. That's awesome. That's not the kind of buying I do. That's a Warren Buffett style, which is great if you can pick the bottom and you can buy big stocks and big positions in stocks and you own the people. Anyway, I'm talking too much. All right, so that's a beautiful looking chart. Right now, it is in a stage 2 breakout. So to me, the stock is at a high, but it's got the propensity of moving higher. So what I do is I like to buy in these little consolidations. This is a weekly chart, by the way, and Market Surge is the data provider for me. So you're reading their charts, and they got these little pattern recognition things that are pretty cool, but you don't really need them if you can recognize patterns. So you can see a kind of consolidation. They call it a flat base here, and it's breaking out. Like 3 out of the 4 or 5 last 5 weeks are up, and the stock is now in that breakout zone. And you could see why. The stock went from making 85, 95 cents to 208 to 460 to $6 to $7. So something's going on in GE Aerospace, and I think I know what it is. It has to do with replenishing our aerospace fleets in this administration. The next stock is Exelixis. It's hard to pronounce. EXEL. It's probably better to say. This is in a nice little cup and handle. It's a second stage base, which, by the way, stage 1 and 2 are the ones that I like to buy in, because if you buy in those early stages, that's when a lot of the money starts to pile in. In the 3rd, 4th, 5th, 6th, they're pretty rare. That's where the market starts to, take their profits. So I like to buy in early stage basis. So that's what I'm showing you. And you can see 90 cents to $2 to $2.90 to $3.22 in earnings. And this has got a good looking chart, although it looks a little bit choppy compared to the last one, right? So EXEL. Here's another aerospace one, Howmet Aerospace. Sounds like How I Met Your Mother, but anyway, it's 2 million shares a day. Not the highest volume that you want, at least for what we do. We buy stocks and we sell calls against them and get the income. But nonetheless, this stock has a beautiful chart, kind of like that GE Aerospace chart, and it's in the same business. So look at that thing going up, and it's in a second stage base as well. and it's right at the breakout point, right, what they call the pivot. And you can see these double-digit earnings per share quarter-over-quarter growth rates, and the same thing with the quarter-over-quarter sales rates. Really nice down in here, and from $1.84 to $2.69, $3.69, $4.44. Future earnings and earnings are what makes a company grow. It's what makes these stock charts go up. And this is forecasting into the future. Now, we don't know into the future if they're going to make those numbers or they're not. But generally, the Wall Street comes together and they come up with these numbers. So it's not my numbers. These are the numbers that are consolidated on the screen here. So anyway, HWM is the symbol for that. Okay, this is First Solar. Now, I traded First Solar years ago. I did great on it, then I got burned on it, and I've kind of stayed away from it for a lot of the time since, because it's been kind of in a downtrend for a long time. And you can still see that even when it starts to get a bid and it starts to build a long consolidation, it sells off, right? Sold off in 2024, all the way down where the sector was really poorly performing. But look at this chart now. And now you see this chart in a early stage, second stage base. Why? They lost 41 cents in 2022, but 774 gain to 1202 to 14 to 2295 in this year, 2256, 2026 is the year. So look at these beautiful double-digit numbers down here, double and triples, some couple of red ones. We don't like those, but for the estimates for this year and next year, they're pretty good. Double and single digits on sales growth. So if you believe in energy, and I got to tell you right now, energy seems to be hot because of all the AI stuff going on. Like you need data centers, you got to power them with energy, and they're throwing whatever energy they can get at them. Solar, they're throwing some wind even, they're throwing gas, they're throwing nuclear, small nuclear footprints. All kinds of cool stuff going on in this sector. Now, it's coming up on this high here, which is just a little bit over $300, but right now the stock is $270, so maybe we call it an early thing if it's going after that high. Okay, this is an activewear company, GIL, Gildan Activewear. I always think of them as underwear, but whatever. Whatever. We could buy underwear and make money out of it, right, everybody? So this is in an early stage, first stage base. This is base on base on base, and it's right at the pivot, right in the area of the breakout zone. So I'm looking at this, and you can just kind of track. It's not amazing growth, but it's pretty good double-digit and single-digit growth on earnings. Single and some triple actually on sales. So, pretty good. And, maybe this thing keeps going up. It's certainly in an early stage base. PNC. Now, this is one I talked about in my mastermind group a couple weeks ago, and I gave it an honorable mention. I said, keep an eye on the banking sector this year. I have a feeling that when rates are coming down, this banking sector is going to do well. Plus, there's a whole crypto element going on in banking that I think is going to hit in 2026. So PNC, not an awesome chart. It's been consolidating for, over a year, and now it's finally in that pivot area right at the breakout. And these are banks. They're boring, right? This is growing at a 12% rate. Return on equity is only 11. I like to see things more toward the 20s and 30s up here. But nonetheless, if you like banks, PNC is one to take a look at. Okay, here's another one. This is a bit early on Shark Ninja. I think they make those blenders and stuff like that. But look at this thing. It's kind of been consolidating for more than a year, just kind of bouncing back and forth and, setting up new bases and erasing old bases and doing all kinds of stuff. Right now, it's in a very early stage, stage one, cup with handle, but it's a long way from buying. It's showing some weakness here. But nonetheless, you may want to put it on your watch list, Shark Ninja, symbol SN. Okay, I just mentioned the banks. JP Morgan is the leading bank out there, and the chairman, Dimon, Jimmy Dimon, I think his name is, he's constantly poo-pooing crypto on the public relations side. On the other side, while they're running their business, they're totally embracing it. They're giving it to their customers. They're investing in it. Like, these guys are crazy. But the CEO is out there saying it's a bad thing. I don't know if he's still doing that, but I don't like that. Like, I think they're trying to fool us. Anyway, if you like the biggest bank, this thing is in the middle of a breakout right now, and you can see why. It's got some growth. It's 18% growth. It's 16% return on equity, 12 to 16 to 18 to 20, 21. Really good stuff. Single digits on earnings, single digits mostly on sales. Good looking chart. Like, if you like the bank, you should buy the leading bank. And the bank sector is not awesome right now, but I think it could be the play for the year. It's 30th in the sector out of 197 industries, I should say. 30th out of 197. Okay, another aerospace play is RTX. You could see this good looking chart here from 80 to 180. Boy, we wish we'd had it early, but we didn't. Anyway, I'd like to see a little bit more earnings per share growth rate, and it's kind of low on the return on equity. Nonetheless, if it's got single digit stuff going on in earnings and sales. So this is something that maybe is like an honorable mention, but it is in that same, you know, sector as the GE and the other one that I talked about. So that's one to kind of keep an eye on and see if maybe you get maybe a pullback to the buy point before you get into this RTX. Okay, if you like drug companies, Eli Lilly's a pretty good one, I think. I don't know. It's gone from, basically $8 in 2022 to $6, which is not the right direction, and then all of a sudden doubled that, and then doubling that again up to 32. So this has got a beautiful earnings per share growth rate. It doesn't look so awesome when you look at, the 3-year trajectory, but it's pretty darn good. So you see triple and double digits in earnings per share growth quarter over quarter, and double digits in sales quarter over quarter. This is making an early stage base on base pattern. It's in a little bit of a pullback right now, testing its 10-week moving average, that red line that you see there. Keep an eye on Lilly because I think the drug sector might be doing well this year as well after kind of a look at this lousy year last year that I think this is not atypical for drug companies. Okay, I couldn't really do a video about stocks without doing one on NVIDIA. So I've got to take a look here, and you could see this crazy growth rate from 33 cents in earnings to $1.30 to $2.99 to $4.68, blah, blah. I mean, you see the growth rate there, right? 83% growth rate. Now, that's what I'm talking about. 121% return on equity. That's what I love. So triple digits down to double and triple digits here. Earnings per share quarter over quarter. Sales per share growth rate is double digits now, pretty solid. This company, you might say it's in a bubble and AI is in a bubble, but this is in an early stage base. And if it isn't in a bubble, this is the leader. This is, if not the most valuable company, the second most valuable company in the world right now, at least on our stock exchanges. So keep an eye on NVIDIA. It's also what's holding down the NASDAQ in terms of relative strength to the other indexes. But when this turns around, if it turns around, then we're looking at a pretty good one. Right now, it's in a consolidation. Keep it on your radar. Take a look at that. Okay, I mentioned the banking sector, and I want to show you this company, NU, New Holdings. Look at this thing. So they lost money in 2022, but 21 cents to 40 cents to 60 cents to 87 cents. This thing's got some really good growth going on. Doubling, basically then a 50% growth rate. Really nice growth, right? And so you could see 28% return on equity, no debt. And then you could see triple and now double digits in earnings per share, and you could see double digits in sales. This one has got a consolidation base on base. It's right there in a breakout showing some nice relative strength. Watch out for NU. This could be a big one for us, hopefully. We'll see. Okay, I mentioned a couple of minutes ago that the best performing stock last year came from the storage sector. And this is SanDisk. It's in that same storage sector. And you're seeing it at an all-time high, at the high of its range for this week, in a breakout right now. Storage could be the story again this year. I don't know. It usually isn't where you get a repetition. But right now, SanDisk is showing, look at this chart, right? This went straight up, which scares the heck out of me when it goes straight up like that. Look at how many weeks in a row it just went up, 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 closed at the top end of its range. That's some major scary strength from $40 to $300. But keep an eye on SanDisk. It could be in for a big crash, but I think there's strength in this sector. And this sector is actually the number 2 sector out of 197. And so it's still strong going into 2026. This is a company called Hut8. Okay, it's basically involved in cryptocurrency and digital stuff, Bitcoin mining in Canada. Okay, so this has got a 98 relative strength. It's gone from losing money in 2022, to sporadic earnings, to making 39 cents, to making $3.40. And then the estimates are for it to only make 30 cents and then lose next year. Like, this is all over the place with earnings. You can see that down here. But this is at an all-time high, and it looks to be at a breakout point. So keep an eye on HUT because this is one of those ones that you just kind of never know. If cryptocurrency and Bitcoin get a bid, this could be one of the big stories for 2026. And I think we are looking at banking and cryptocurrency, like I said before, as 2 sectors of the market that I think are going to do pretty well this year. Who knows? We'll see. Reddit. Now, this is one that perplexes me, right? This has gone from $50 to $250. And I frankly don't know how Reddit makes money. I guess they advertise and there's, they have, click throughs and all kinds of stuff like that. But, it's a community based thing. And you know that since COVID, communities have been taken off. And, Reddit is monetizing that community based thing like Facebook and Instagram. This is another one. It's just a discussion area. But you know what? I have to be honest with you. I don't really understand it, but I understand the chart. And the chart's right at a breakout spot right now. And you can see why. Look at the crazy numbers. They were losing money in 2023 and a lot more in 2022. But now, 2024 they lost as well. But now it's 232 down to 387. Moving up, quarter over quarter, double and triple digits, double digits on sales. Keep an eye on RDDT. Okay, I'm going to finish up with Figure Tech Solutions. It's FIGR. They are, trading and investing across consumer credit and digital assets. Again, digital assets, cryptocurrencies, money. That seems to be a theme that keeps popping up on some of these stocks that right now are looking pretty strong. This has got a nice, strong relative strength rating. Can't really make much out of these earnings. But when we're looking at what's called an IPO base, we're looking at a stock that came up, sold off, built from the bottom, and now it's on a breakout. It might be actually too extended. So you may want to put this on your radar. And if it pulls back a little bit, maybe that's when you can do your trade. It doesn't matter when you do it. This is an IPO base. And if you look at some of the charts, when a company is first IPOing, that's when there's all this activity. The market makers that took it public, the insiders, they're jostling around to try to make money and change their life. And then all of a sudden they're gone and new buyers come in. This could be one of those that really performs well in 2026. So there you have it, everybody. That's my list. I know it was a long list and anybody can look at stocks, but I'm just trying to, pinpoint the ones that have some decent volume, have what I see as a probabilistic area where it's viable, at least for me. Again, not recommending that you do this, but this is a good place to start your research. I look for earnings per share growth rate, as you've seen, sales growth rate. I look for high return on equity. I look for stocks that are at resistance point and trying to break through, and some of those are a little bit below and some of those are breaking through. I try to point those out when I could. So we'll take a look and see if this lasts. Now remember, if you're going to do any of this stuff, make sure your risk management is solid, right? Don't be riding it out because it's a good stock or you like the CEO or you like the story or you think it's going to be right. If it starts to go south on you, get out. You can always get back in, right? Just pull the trigger and get out. Your first loss is your best loss. Kill the monster while it's small, right? Kill the dictator when it's a baby, if you could go back in time. That's what we do with stocks. Risk management is the number one thing that you should learn if you're trading stocks. But the number two thing is what I just did. And I showed you chart patterns. And this is a momentum trader talking about chart patterns. And then what I do on top of that is I layer in selling covered calls against to create income. Because sometimes these stocks just don't go up and take off forever. Sometimes they kind of stay in a range and they consolidate. It might be 6 months, a year that it consolidates. That's dead money. So what I like to do is I like to sell covered calls. I have 3 different strategies on how to do that. And it all depends on what the market is doing. Covered calls bring you income while that stock is consolidating and while you wait. But then when it takes off, you want to still be making a little bit of income and maybe harnessing some of that upside potential. So those are the ones that I'm showing you. Hope you enjoyed that video. I know I threw a lot at you. And if you're not into reading charts, the more charts that you see, the more your brain is going to pick out these patterns. Thanks for joining me, and I'll see you on the next video. Take care.